Are you ready to break the chains of wired guitar systems and be free? Well, you may want to take a look at the latest from Swiff Audio. It is the WT-09B. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and I recently did review a wireless system that looks almost exactly like this from Swiff Audio, but this one they're saying is a step above. This one is a more professional unit than most of what's out there, especially if you're looking at budget stuff. They do a lot of comparison in some of the literature that I've seen from them, basically saying this is an investment. It's an 8-year investment because they guarantee the batteries in here are going to last 8 years. That's kind of a big deal. They also claim 200-foot range. You got to keep in mind when they say that, that's line of sight. So if the receiver is behind me on a stage and the the transmitter is not hanging to where it can kind of get a line of sight on that receiver, you might end up with some glitches or maybe dropouts or that kind of thing. But I would say on a stage, you have nothing to worry about. As a matter of fact, we're going to take this thing out for a 150-foot range test because that's what my peer is cut off at right now. I'm going to put it to the test and then we're going to come back. I'll give you all the specs and details on it, so let's go. This is my favorite place to test these things because it is a nice long pier. Right now it's 150 feet to where it's blocked off because they're doing maintenance past that point, but that's perfect because most of the time you're not going to be going more than 100 feet from the receiver. It's also a place where we have a lot of wind and other possible interference, so good place to test it. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's see. Right now, I'd say I'm probably about 20 feet away. Okay, and something else to point out, when I turn my back and this is going to be blocked by my body, will it cut out? Well, that's a good question. So all right, I heard my first cutout there, but then again, I'm more than halfway to the 150 feet point and my back was turned to it, so that's not too bad at all. Now, if I turn around and walk, now inherently where I'm standing, I'm pushing myself over to this side of the pier because there is a piling that is always right in front of where I put my little Spark Mini, but hey. All right, well, let's go ahead and take it all the way to 150 feet and just cut to the chase, right? Let's see. 150 feet right here. Now, I can barely hear it from where I'm at right now because, again, there's wind and everything else, and I'm outside. That amp is not all that loud, it's about halfway up, but I don't know if there's any cutout, but I could tell that there's a tiny bit of latency that I wasn't noticing when I was about halfway. But still, I mean, this is pretty darn far away from an amplifier, and even if you're performing at a festival, you're probably not gonna get this far away from the stage. We'll just put it that way, so. I'd say it lived up to the hype. They really do have good quality. It sounds just like with the cable plugged in. Situation out there, we had wind going, a little microphone in front of a Spark Mini, but yeah, they really do have great audio quality. Now, I have heard a couple of times in the comments, boy, it's a beautiful place to test them, but why do it outside like that? Well, there's a reason for that because it says right here, outdoor use, short range applications, outdoor environments may reduce wireless range due to reflections and open air conditions. And I would say that even includes wind and things like that. So that is just something that you want to keep in mind when you're looking at these audio systems. So for such a small device, it's got a pretty large box. Inside of here, it's got a little box right here, and this is a, well, let's just take it out of there. USB cable that is single standard USB to double USB-C. That allows you to plug them both in and charge them at the same time. And then we've got a lanyard in here, and it's like a wrist lanyard, and it attaches to this if that's the way you want to do it. It makes it easy just to, you know, drop it into your backpack or your guitar case or whatever, and that's just another thing that's going to keep you from losing it. On the back here, you've got your basic information. It's the WT-09B, 5.8 gigahertz, less than 5.5 milliseconds of latency, built-in lithium-ion polymer battery, operating time approximately 4 hours, and charging time approximately 2 hours, and all their certifications. There are a couple of different user manuals in here. This is all the other language. This one is English. On this page, they talk about a couple of things that are kind of important. High impedance input stage captures the complete tonal character and dynamic nuance of your playing, preserving clarity, detail, and expressive articulation. Ultra-low latency digital architecture, long-range stable wireless connectivity, reliable transmission with an operating range up to 200 feet. Line of sight, and it's important to keep that in mind when you're talking about these things. As you saw in the test, it did pretty good. Premium low noise digital audio circuit, compact and highly integrated design. Yeah, I mean, it's like so small. And an RGB indicator system, LQI, and audio level. The receiver has LQI, which means link quality indicator, and the transmitter actually will show you audio level. So it definitely helps to know what the problems might potentially be before you have something happen on stage, you know? Their official marketing on these say they are a professional tool for cleaner, fuller, and more authentic tones. They do use that 5.8 gigahertz for pro stability, 200-foot range, 24-bit, 48 kilohertz uncompressed transmission. Got 6 channels and auto pairing, and if you need to, you can change the channels on them. They use a premium low noise circuit. As you can see, they're super compact. I mean, they're little bitty and just so easy to use. We're just going to press these buttons and hold them down. You see they're coming on, and look at that, automatically paired, good to go. And when they do that, they're actually scanning the environment and making sure that it's choosing the absolute best signal to be used at that time. So that's good. And it seems like it's been pretty reliable at that. They do have battery indicators on them right there, so all I got to do is hit the button to see what that is. We're at 3 dots on this one and 4 dots on this one. To charge them, they've got a little port back here that is covered for dust, and you know, I wouldn't say they're waterproof, but if you got a little bit of sweat splashed on them, that'll help. The rings on here are actually useful. They're indicators. Let me just pull up the manual real quick so you can see that. So when you look at them, you'll see that has transmitter and a little picture of a guitar on there. This one says RX, and I guess those would be like inputs or whatever. So it's easy to tell which one is which. And on the transmitter, it has audio level indicators. So if you're using this little ring that's on here is going to give you an indicator. And you can see right here, solid green to red audio level. So rainbow color is pairing mode. When you're playing through this, if you're hitting in the red right there, and you see right here, it's telling you that you want to reduce the volume from the instrument that you're playing, that type of thing. But hey, at least you know if you're maxing out and you're going to be clipping. And then as far as the receiver goes, this has the LQI indicator. So it's the link quality indicator. If it's flashing green, there's no connection. And if it's anywhere in that gradient right there, it'll tell you that you're losing your strength. You want it to be up in the green. Is it a professional system? I mean, you know, it's nice and small. It really works great for a Strat. Like you see right here, it's perfect for that type of an application. Now, I reviewed their previous system and it was all black. You know, blue, some people might not exactly love that because it's really going to stand out. But I mean, it's such a small little thing. It might be a curiosity, like, what is that? It can fold all the way over like that or be straight out. I feel like Swiff Audio is pretty aware of the more budget systems. I mean, you can get a wireless system for under $50, that type of thing, but sometimes you want to invest a little bit more. The battery has a 8+ year guarantee. So the budget ones usually only last about 1 or 2 years before they're degrading. And you know, you can't replace the batteries in them. So once that's gone, well, they're disposable. These are not disposable. They're saying it's an 8+ year investment. So if you're looking for reliability, so far these have been very reliable. I love the little case. It's very sturdy. And you know, when I first got these, I was like, man, it's magnetized. Putting this thing in my backpack or inside of a guitar case, probably not the best thing because it's just going to open up, but you really have to manipulate it to get it to open. I kind of have to do like that. But once you do, they're nice and secure inside there. You know, for me, the only thing they could do to really improve these is to make them in a case that charges them when you put them in there. But other than that, nice and compact. And if you put this thing on here, it's going to make it even harder to lose it. We'll just put it that way. These just released yesterday, and they're priced at $189, which is in the realm of something like the Spark Link or other mid-range cost type of things for wireless systems. Yes, there are systems out there that are $50 and less. Who knows how long they're actually going to hold up and all that, but you know, they work. I mean, so if you're just looking for something inside your studio, that might work out for you. But if you want that longevity, this might be something for you to look at. Not too shabby at all. Just released yesterday from Swiff Audio. That is the WT-09B. Got to remember the B part. I don't know, maybe they used B because, well, they're blue. And that is another thing. These are drop resistant. So I've dropped these things a couple of times and they've held up pretty well. So that's a good thing. Also, they kind of have a rubberized texture, which probably helps with all that. So there we go from Swiff Audio, the WT-09B. And I just want to thank you so much for your support here in the channel. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, always very important to my channel. So if you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there, notification bell. Click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.